everyone, James Baek here. It's time for some more VGC 2015 battles from the Doubles Battles Battle Ladder. We're going to try to find 2 games and hopefully we will do well with this team that we've been using for the past couple of episodes with Riolu, Salamence, Rotom Heat, Mamoswine, Milotic, and Riolu. I'm actually thinking about switching out my Milotic because I haven't used my Milotic at all, even during practice. I have never been able to use my Milotic and I've been noticing a bit of trick room issues with this team, so I would definitely like to change my Milotic. But anyway, we are going to find 2 battles and see how we do. We're going to find Jonathan from the United Kingdom, 1651 rating, and I'm actually going to take notes on this team because I should. And we are going to see the team of Rotom Heat, Metagross, Scrafty, Gengar, Salamence, and Talonflame. So he has 2 possible Megas, and I'm pretty sure that they both can be possible Megas. Well, he has 3 possible Megas, actually. The Gengar is also considered a Mega Evolution. Highly doubt it, though. All those Mega Evolutions are actually pretty viable without a Mega Stone. So it's going to be hard to assume which one he would have as a Mega. I'm going to guess Salamence? I don't know, it could be either, to be honest. But popularity-wise, Salamence is the more popular Mega Evolution, and Metagross is a strong Pokemon by itself. However, Salamence was very popular in VGC 14, so that's also an option. However, Rotom Heat does really well against my opponent's team, and I know that for a fact, so I'm gonna lead with Rotom Heat. And I really like my Mamoswine, but I need to deal with his Rotom Heat, so I think I'm gonna bring my Milotic actually. Milotic actually does pretty decently here. It can knock out the Talonflame, it gets the competitive boost from the Salamence and Scrafty. It's also able to do a lot of damage to the Rotom Heat, and can get possible burns on the physical attackers, and does a lot to Scrafty, but Scrafty's not very bulky otherwise. Thinking of Riolu and Salamence in the back, which I've already chosen. Yeah, I think why not. The only problem is if that's Metagross isn't Mega and it remains non-Mega form, it's actually going to have Clear Body, which means I can effectively Screech, which means it's going to be annoying to deal with. So I'm going to have to knock out the Metagross if it's non-Mega. Rotom and Milotic are going to lead, and let's see what he's going to lead. Metagross and Gengar. So I'm guessing since he brought Metagross, I'm gonna assume that's a Mega. I'm gonna Thunder Wave the Gengar and go for the Scald onto the Gengar. Yeah, I have no reason not to. I mean, Metagross isn't that big of a threat to my team, especially if it's Mega. But it is gonna be Mega Metagross, which is good information to know. That means my opponent probably doesn't have a Mega Salamence, so if it's in the back, it's probably holding a different item. But Metagross is gonna protect. His Gengar's not going to protect, so let's see what it went for. Probably the attacking move. Sludge Bomb onto my Milotic slot. I'm guessing he brought Scrafty in the back, and that's actually good news for me. Thunder Wave going to happen onto the Gengar. That's going to slow it down immensely, which is very nice. And I'm going to get the Scald off onto the Gengar, which is going to do about half. Now Metagross doesn't want to stay in, that's the question. The only thing that could really take an overheat well would be Talonflame and he can switch into Salamence if he has it in the back. He can switch it out into Talonflame, or if that's a Solvest Scrafty. I think I'm gonna overheat and Scald that slot because it's the safest play in my opinion. He can't go for Protect again, and if he stays in, he probably can knock out my Rotom Heat in one move, and Overheat will one-shot the Metagross. And then Scald would just hit the Gengar and knock it out. But if he switches out Metagross into, let's say, Talonflame, Scald's going to knock it out. If he switches into Salamence, I could get the burn, but he's not going to switch out. Gonna go for the Zen Headbutt onto Milotic. He really wants his Milotic out of the way, but don't know this is going to cost him since Overheat's actually going to connect with the Metagross, and that's going to knock it out guaranteed. Yeah, that's going to knock out the Metagross, and then the Scald's going to happen onto the Gengar, which is actually going to pick up the double knockout here. Oh, unless I flinch. Oh, the irony. And he's going to go for Sludge Bomb onto my Milotic as well. So I'm going to guess he does have Scrafty and Salamence in the back. And if that's the case, going to bring out my Riolu. I would assume Salamence is coming in, which is what we see. I would probably assume it's a Scarf set. Now what do I want to do? I'm gonna Thunder Wave the Salamence and protect my Riolu, I think. Alternatively, I could also go for the Overheat onto the Gengar and protect my Riolu. If he goes for Draco Meteor, that's really not going to help him in this situation if he's like a Choice Scarf variant. I kind of just want to protect Riolu. I mean, Salamence can't do much to my Rotom Heat unless it's carrying Hydro Pump, and I don't think Stone Edge will KO unless it gets like a critical hit. I think I'm just going to protect Riolu, yeah. I have no reason not to. Riolu is going to go for the Protect. Let's see what Salamence went for. I'm guessing Draco. But it is going to reveal the Hydro Pump. Rotom Heat should be able to live a Hydro Pump. Yes, it does. And it's going to get this Thunder Wave off, which is going to help immensely against the Salamence. So now, there's a chance he can be parried, which is very nice. And let's see what the Gengar went for. Sludge Bomb also into the Rotom Heat slot. I was anticipating that, actually. Don't know if he's Scarf Salamence though. I'm gonna guess by Hydro Pump he's either Specs or Scarf. Gonna send out my Salamence, and only problems I see are him switching out his Salamence into his Scrafty. I'm gonna return the Gengar and go for the Screech onto the Salamence slot. I highly doubt that Salamence is going to stay in, and I'm assuming it's going to be a choice item. Unless it's Assault Vest, which is really rare to see on a Salamence. Yeah, I'm thinking Return and Screech will actually be able to do the job here. I was actually in a fantastic position turn 1. Well, the first couple of turns, but then my Milotic got flinched by the Zen Headbutt, which is one of the perks of Zen Headbutt. You do get a chance to flinch your opponent. And Mega Metagross is one of his fastest Pokemon right now. But he's not going to switch out Salamence, which, if it is like an Assault Vest or not choiced, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. But Screech going to happen onto the Salamence, and I'm hoping he gets parried here. I mean, it's kind of doubtful he would get parried. But I'm gonna probably need a parrot if that isn't. But if he just stayed in and went for the Hydro Pump, I'm fine with that. Oh, he did stay and go for the Hydro Pump. So I'm gonna guess that Salamence really isn't a threat to my team, as Hydro Pump doesn't even do half to Riolu. Let's see. Scrafty is gonna come in. I'm kind of surprised he actually didn't go for the play that I was considering earlier about switching out Salamence into that Scrafty. But it actually works out since he only has my Salamence at -1, and gonna double protect here to scout for the Fake Out pressure, or do I want to protect Salamence and Screech the Scrafty? There are two different options I can do, and they're both really good. If he fakes out my Salamence, I get a free Screech onto the Scrafty, and I pretty much win since its Salamence is locked into Hydro Pump, as we saw. But if I double protect, if he fakes out my Riolu and goes for, let's say, a Hydro Pump onto the Riolu, I might actually be in trouble since his Scrafty could carry Ice Punch and knock out my Salamence. And I'm kind of doubting my Salamence can knock out the Scrafty next turn. Actually, I'm just going to double protect. Don't want to risk that play. So going to protect with Riolu and Salamence just to avoid the Fake Out and whatever Hydro Pump this Salamence might have. Fake Out onto his Salamence, and his Salamence is paralyzed. Okay, gonna return his Scrafty and go for the Screech onto it. Since most Scrafties carry the Assault Vest, and Screech is gonna connect with his Scrafty, he's not gonna protect. Return is gonna be able to knock out his Scrafty. Now let's reveal the truth. Is that Salamence Choice Scarf? I'm really thinking it is if he kept going for Hydro Pump. And yep, he's just gonna go for the Hydro Pump. Will Riolu be able to live this? Oh, it actually gets a high damage roll, knocks out Riolu. But Riolu did help me and knock out the Scrafty, and now my Salamence should be able to knock out his Salamence with a return. Return gonna happen onto his Salamence, and that's actually gonna pick up the knockout, so Screech doing a lot of work in that game. So definitely was in a great position. The first few turns did kind of lose momentum a bit when he did flinch my Lotic, and when he double attacked the Rotom Heat when I was expecting him to attack Riolu at least once. But I guess he didn't know what Riolu did, so I guess he didn't see it as a threat. Anyway, we are going to move on to Game 2, and hopefully I'll be able to take that Riolu. Do some more work. We're going to find Edu 7072 from Portugal. Let's see how this is going to go. I'm going to see the team of Metagross, Hydreigon, Talonflame, Gastrodon, Mienshao, and Thundurus. Kind of slow there, but kind of interesting team. I mean, we do see another Mega Metagross in this game. We see the Hydreigon probably holding the Choice Scarf item, I would assume. Because he really doesn't have... Well, then again, his team is very fast. Talonflame probably offers Tailwind and most likely Quick Guard, I would assume. But then again, his Mienshao can also do the same thing. We also see the Gastrodon, who's very bulky Pokemon. And... I don't know, redirects water attacks. His team doesn't really have a water weakness. I guess does get hit hard a bit by rain though. Mienshao probably holding the Focus Sash item. And it's just a very strong Pokemon overall. Get some good support like Fake Out, Quick Guard, Wide Guard, and I will have to watch out for that. Thundurus variant can hold multiple items, Choice Specs, Life Fork, Choice Scarf are all common. But we'll have to see. Rotom Heat. Gonna do a lot of work in this, so I'm definitely gonna bring my Rotom. I like Mamoswine in the position, but that Mienshao is just scaring it out. I think I'm gonna lead Rotom, Heat, and Salamence. Actually, I see nothing wrong with leading that with Riolu and Mamoswine in the back. Then again, do I want Breloom? Because Breloom actually does some work here. The priority will be nice against the Hydreigon. And it could help against the Mienshao if I bring it down to its Focus Sash. And Bullet Teeth will threaten the Gastrodon, but honestly don't see him bring Gastrodon here. Well, actually Gastrodon does pretty nice against my team. But I don't think Breloom really wants to face this team. He's got so many resistances and fast things that can knock out Breloom before it can get off an effective move. So I actually didn't write that team down, and I probably should have had. But Rotom and Salamence are going to lead. Let's see if he leads Hydreigon. But no, it's actually going to be Mienshao and Thundurus. Okay, so the obvious play is probably to fake out my Salamence and go for like a hidden power onto it as well. I'm going to overheat the Thunder slot, and I think... Actually, no. I'm going to Thunder Wave his Mienshao slot and switch out Salamence into the Mamoswine. The reason is, the Fake Out I'm very sure is going onto the Salamence slot. Unless he really wants to fake out my Rotom, which I don't think is necessary. But he's actually going to fake out the Rotom. Let's see. Volt Switch into the Rotom Heat slot as well. I guess he predicted the Protect on Salamence. Very nice call from my opponent, but... I guess we get to reveal another Pokemon. I'm guessing Metagross won't be coming in. But it is. Don't know what my opponent's thinking. But Rotom does flinch. At least I do conserve the fact that I have Thunder Wave. Gonna protect my Mamoswine, or he predicted my first turn so well. But then again, he doesn't know if I'm Scarf Mamoswine or not. I'm really assuming Wide Guard, but Metagross is gonna protect, not even Mega Evolve. Probably going to save its Mega Evolution for later. Gonna protect with my Mamoswine as well. As we're gonna see the Rock Slide from Mienshao. Okay, I probably should have went for the attacking move, but Rock Slide should knock out my Rotom Heat. Yeah, I take it really well, especially since Mienshao's at -1. Gonna heal back with my Citrus Berry, which is nice, and the Thunder Wave gonna happen onto the Mienshao. The Thunder Wave is really gonna help. No, I really wish I wrote this team down since I really have no idea what he can switch into. Gonna Thunderbolt the Mienshao and Earthquake, I think. Only bad play I could see is Wide Guard, but then again, he's gonna stay in with his Metagross and Mega Evolve. Kinda questionable in my opinion, but I guess it will work. Mienshao gonna get paralyzed, so I'm guessing he went for Wide Guard, so that's very nice, as he's gonna get the Zen Headbutt off onto my Rotom, which should knock it out. Yeah, it does. And going to be able to get the Earthquake off at full power. It's a Life Orb Earthquake, probably won't KO the Metagross, but it does a lot, and it brings Mienshao to its Focus Sash. I'm gonna take a bit of Life Orb. That didn't even bring it down to Focus Sash? Don't know what happened there. I'm gonna bring out my Salamence, I think. Really wish I wrote this team down. I think the obvious play is to Ice Shard the Metagross and go for the return onto the Mienshao. Which is what I'm gonna do. Return the Mienshao and go for the Ice Shard. Well, Ice Shard KO though. Don't want to risk it. I really don't want to risk it. I'm gonna Mega Evolve Protect. And protect my Mammospine. Going for the double protect, I really can't risk the Ice Shard knocking out the Metagross or not. So Salamence is going to Mega Evolve, going to gain some speed boost, and I kind of doubt that his Mienshao would go for another Wide Guard. It's really not useful at this point. Going to double protect here. Trying to stall out the... not really stall out, but Ice Punch onto the Salamence and the Rock Slide from the Mienshao. Now I just want to return an Ice Shard. There's really nothing stopping me. Yeah, I might as well go for that. He's probably going to sack off both his Pokemon here. I mean, if he switches out, I don't think he had much to take a double. But he's actually going to withdraw his Mienshao. If he goes into Hydreigon or Talonflame, okay, I can see that. Ice Shard gonna happen onto his Talonflame. Kinda wish I did. Well, Ice Shard's actually gonna do half thanks to a critical hit. That's gonna help me a lot. And return is gonna knock out his Metagross. Now, this is a Swords Dance Talonflame. I will laugh myself. But still, I kinda doubt it would be Swords Dance. He's probably gonna send out Mienshao to get a Fake Out support. Mienshao, yep. Seriously, this is Swords Dance Talonflame. Protecting my Salamence and protecting my... Then again, is that play too obvious? I'm really thinking he's actually going to set up the Tailwind, and if he sets up the Tailwind, I'll be in a down position. I'm going to double attack the Talonflame with a Return and Icicle Crash combo. Really expecting the Tailwind and Fake Out to come out. Fake Out is going to come out onto my Salamence, totally understandable. As Willow is onto my Mamoswine. Very nice play by my opponent. As Salamence is going to flinch, Icicle Crash is going to happen onto Talonflame. It should be able to knock it out even if I'm burned. Because Icicle Crash from a Life Orb Mamoswine doesn't even pick up the knockout. Wow. I'm shocked. I'm guessing if he has Will-O-Wisp on his Talonflame, he's going to have Roost. And if that's the case, I'm going to protect my Salamence and go for the Earthquake. The Talonflame going to go for the Protect. Okay, that makes sense. I guess it's to avoid the... Ice Shard coming. Earthquake going to happen onto his Mienshao though, and that's going to pick up the knockout. I really wish I did go for like a Dragonite or something, but then again, I did not want to get burned at all. Now he sends out his Thundurus. I'm going to return the Talonflame and Ice Shard the Talonflame as well. He really can't go for like a double attack. If he goes for the Brave Bird and knocks out my Mamoswine, I'm fine with that. And if he knocks out if he goes for the Salamence, I'll be able to live that and get an Ice Shard off onto the Thundurus. Which, even though it doesn't do that much, it's still good damage either way. If he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, he'll knock himself out. If he goes for like a Roost, let's say, I knock him out with Return unless his Thundurus' Scarfin has hidden power. So I should be in the best position, especially since he can't protect. The Talonflame is going to Brave Bird. Let's see which slot he targeted. I'm going to say the Mamoswine slot. The Mamoswine slot, yep. That's going to knock out my Mamoswine. And that's going to knock out his Talonflame, and I'm fine with that. Actually, if I predicted that, I probably should have protected and went for the Icicle Crash, as he is going to reveal Hidden Power, and that's actually bad. Salamence can't not live. Oh, this is problematic. Gonna send out my Riolu, and Riolu has no attacking moves, but he is Choice Scarfed into Hidden Power Ice. Which means it's probably a 3 to 4 KO, and by that time I can start swaggering this Thunderous, hoping it hits itself. Swagger gonna happen onto the Thunderous. Really gonna have to hope for some swagger luck, as yeah, I probably should have played that better. I probably should have went for the Protect and Ice Shard onto Talonflame slot. My computer's actually running out of battery here. I apologize for that. Hidden Power gonna happen onto Riolu, and that's not gonna do that much. I'm actually gonna grab my charger real quick, so be right back. Okay, now I'm back with my charger. I'm gonna Screech the Thunderous as I need it to hit itself. Screech going to connect with his Thunderous, and if he hits himself twice, I think he's gonna knock himself out. So he is still confused, and let's see, does he hit himself? He's actually going to break through, and this is actually becoming very dire of a situation. Ooh, about one more hit I think Riolu is actually gone for. Going to Protect here, in case he breaks out of confusion. Protect is going to happen on my Riolu. This is a very bad position. And he's going to snap out, so I can Swagger now. And he's actually going to do more damage to himself if he actually hits himself, because now his attack is raised even further. Swagger going to connect with his Thunderous. Really need him to hit himself. If Riolu can... It's one of these situations where Riolu is actually left on the field. This has happened to me in the past. And Riolu actually has won me the game single-handedly, but he's actually going to go for the Hidden Power onto my Riolu. Which I'm going to live at 2, but it's pretty much hopeless here. I have to hope he hits himself. I'm going to go for the Screech. Gotta hope he hits himself once. And he's still confused, but hits himself, and that's actually a knockout on the Thunder, so I'm going to take this game. Really didn't want to rely on Swagger there. I definitely do blame myself. This probably should have been a loss. But Riolu able to make a comeback, and that was just such an amazing game. Cannot believe I was actually able to win that. Probably should have on that turn went for the Icicle Crash onto the Talonflame slot and protected my Ments, especially since I was actually assuming Choice Scarf on the Thunderous variant when I saw he was trying to preserve it. But anyway, that was a mistake, but we do learn from our mistakes, and even though we didn't lose, we definitely did learn something from that. Definitely think about all your conditions, especially what your opponent can do to win that game. And even though I was able to win that game with Swagger, Riolu, be sure to give a like, especially for Riolu being able to win a battle single-handedly, and yeah, that was just amazing. Be sure to give a like to support the series, and 2 battles per episode. Be sure to follow me on my social medias, Twitter, if you want to know updates about my channel and when new videos are coming out. Follow me on Twitch, because I'm going to try to live stream 2 to 4 times a week now, and definitely check it out. I can battle you guys, the viewers, live on Twitch, which would be very nice, and we would definitely have a lot of fun, so definitely check that out. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because you guys can have subscriber battles on my channel, where you guys, the viewers, can battle me in different formats, such as OU, Ubers, etc. And you know, you guys wonder how you can get subscriber battles. Subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter, and I'll ask out on Twitter whenever I'm available for a subscriber battle. Be sure to check out my VGC tips videos, such as my team building guide for VGC and my team preview guide. So if you guys want to check that out, if you're new to VGC, definitely check those videos out, as they will help you. Be sure to check out the rest of my VGC 2015 battles, which is in the link in the description down below. Check out some awesome intense games, as there are a lot of them on my channel. And yeah, this was James Baek, James Speed 1. Hope you guys enjoyed Riolu.